Welcome to my channel. We are here to help you speak English with confidence and enjoy learning every step of the way. In today's video, we'll explore how to train your brain to speak more naturally, reduce fear, and feel calm when using English. Let's get started. You understand more English than you think you do. When you watch a video, you follow the story. When you read something simple, it makes sense. When someone speaks slowly, you can catch the meaning. But the moment it's your turn to speak, everything changes. Your mind goes blank. The words you know suddenly disappear. Your heart beats a little faster. You start building a sentence in your head, but before you finish, the conversation has already moved on. So you stay quiet. You nod. You smile. And later, you think, why couldn't I just say it? If this feels familiar, you are not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common experiences for English learners all around the world. You might be afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you worry people will judge your grammar, your pronunciation, or your accent. So you try to build the perfect sentence before you speak. But while you're busy trying to be perfect, the moment to speak passes. Or maybe your brain is busy translating everything. You hear English, turn it into your language, think of a reply in your language, and then try to translate it back into English. By the time you're ready, the conversation feels too fast, and you feel too slow. Sometimes it's embarrassment. You know you're smart. You can express deep thoughts in your own language. But in English, you feel like a child. Simple ideas feel hard to say. You can't show your real personality. So you start avoiding situations where you might have to speak. You skip opportunities. You stay quiet in meetings. You avoid phone calls. You hope someone else will talk instead of you. After a while, you might start telling yourself a story, maybe I'm just not good at languages. Or, maybe I don't have confidence. Or even, maybe English just isn't for me. But here is the truth, and it's important. Speaking confidence in English is not a talent. It is not something you are born with or without. It is not about being naturally brave, naturally talkative, or naturally smart. It is brain training. Right now, your brain is trained to be careful, to avoid mistakes, to search for perfect grammar, and to translate before speaking. Of course you feel slow and nervous, your brain is following the training it has received. But just like you can train your body to become stronger, you can train your brain to become more confident, faster, and more relaxed when speaking English. And this is the big idea for today. Speaking confidently is not only a language skill. It is a mental skill. It's about how your brain reacts under pressure. It's about how you handle mistakes. It's about how quickly you allow words to come out, even if they are not perfect. The beautiful part is this, mental skills can be trained. So if you've ever felt shy, slow, or afraid to speak, it doesn't mean you are bad at English. It just means your brain has not been trained for confident speaking yet. By the end of this session, you're going to learn simple ways to retrain your brain, so speaking English can start to feel more natural, more automatic, and much less scary. You don't need to become perfect. You just need to train differently. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your brain when you try to speak English. Because the problem is not that you don't know enough words. And it's not that you're bad at languages. Most of the time, the real problem is that your brain thinks speaking English is a dangerous situation. It might sound dramatic, but your brain is built to protect you. And one of the things it tries to protect you from is social rejection, being judged, embarrassed, or feeling stupid in front of other people. So when you start to speak English, especially around others, your brain quietly asks, is this safe, or could this be embarrassing? If it decides there is a risk, even a small one, it activates a mild stress response. Your heart beats a little faster. Your breathing changes. Your muscles get slightly tense. And most importantly, the thinking part of your brain doesn't work as smoothly. Stress is very useful if you are running from danger. But it is terrible for language. Because when you feel stressed, your brain moves into protection mode, not communication mode. Instead of freely sharing ideas, it focuses on avoiding mistakes. This is where overthinking begins. You start checking every word before you say it. Is this grammar correct? Is this the right tense? Is my pronunciation wrong? That mental checking feels responsible, but it blocks fluency. Natural speaking is fast and automatic. Overthinking is slow and heavy. You can't do both at the same time. Then comes another common habit, translating. Instead of thinking directly in English, your brain takes a long route. You hear English, translate it into your language, create an answer in your language, and then try to translate your answer back into English. This is not because you are bad at English. It's because your brain is trying to stay safe by using what feels familiar, your first language. But this process is slow. And while you're translating, the conversation keeps moving. That creates pressure. And pressure creates more stress. And more stress makes it even harder to find words. It becomes a loop. Now let's talk about something I call the mistake alarm. Many learners have trained their brains to believe that mistakes are dangerous. Maybe a teacher corrected you harshly. Maybe classmates laughed once. Maybe you laughed at yourself and felt ashamed. So now, every time you open your mouth to speak English, a small alarm goes off in your brain. Be careful. Don't be wrong. This alarm is connected to perfectionism. You don't want to say a sentence unless it's correct. But here's the problem, real conversations don't wait for perfect sentences. So perfectionism freezes you. You pause too long. You restart sentences. You choose silence instead of risk. And each time you stay silent, your brain learns, good choice. We avoided danger. That makes it even harder to speak next time. But here's the truth that can change everything. Confidence in English does not come from having perfect grammar. It does not come from knowing every word. It does not come from never making mistakes. Confidence comes from a brain that feels safe enough to try. When your brain feels safe, it stops checking every word. It stops sounding the mistake alarm. It allows words to come out more freely, even if they are simple, even if they are not perfect. And that is when fluency starts to grow. So if you've been trying to fix your confidence only by studying more vocabulary or more grammar, you are only solving half the problem. Yes, language matters. But the bigger shift is this. We don't just practice English. We retrain the brain to feel safe while speaking it. Now we begin the first and most powerful brain training habit for speaking confidence. It sounds small. It sounds almost too easy. But it changes everything. Start thinking in simple English. Right now, your brain probably uses your native language as a middle step. Something happens, you understand it in your language, you build a thought in your language, and only then you try to turn it into English. That extra step is what creates delay. It's like trying to have a conversation while constantly switching keyboards. By the time you find the right letters, the moment is gone. But here's the important part, your brain is not slow. It's just using a longer path. We're going to train it to use a shorter path, direct English thinking. And we start very, very small. Not big sentences. Not complex grammar. Just simple, real-time thoughts about your life. Look around you right now. Wherever you are. You don't need perfect words. You don't need long sentences. Just describe your world in the simplest English possible. For example, I am sitting. That's it. 5-year-old level English. But powerful. Now add another. I am holding my phone. Or, I am watching a screen. You are teaching your brain to connect reality English, without going through your native language first. Try another one. I hear a sound. Maybe it's a fan. Maybe traffic. Maybe someone talking. It doesn't matter. The sentence is simple, but the brain training is deep. Now something inside your body. I feel calm. Or, I feel a little tired. Or, I feel curious. These are not just language exercises. You are building a new mental habit, thinking directly in English about your present moment. And here's the secret: simple English is not bad English. Simple English is fast English. Fast English feels natural. Natural English builds confidence. Confidence does not come from long, complicated sentences. It comes from your brain learning, I can express something quickly without panic. When you practice this daily, something amazing happens. Your brain slowly stops waiting for your native language. It begins to grab English words automatically for normal, everyday thoughts. You see a cup, this is my cup. You walk to the door, I am going outside. You check the time, it is late. No translation. No pressure. Just small, direct thoughts. At first, you might still notice your native language appearing in the background. That's okay. Don't fight it. Just gently bring your attention back and restate the thought in simple English. Think of it like training a muscle. Light weights, many repetitions. This is why we focus on simple English, not advanced English. Because simple English removes fear. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're not trying to sound perfect. You're just training your brain to be comfortable forming thoughts in English, quickly and calmly. And the more often your brain experiences, I thought in English and nothing bad happened, the safer English starts to feel. Little by little, the delay becomes shorter. The panic becomes weaker. The words come a bit faster. So throughout your day, take tiny, English thinking moments. While walking. While waiting. While eating. Just describe your world in easy, basic English. I am walking. The food is warm. The sky is bright. This is how you rewire your brain from, I must translate first, to, English thoughts can come directly. And that is the foundation of speaking with confidence. Now we move to a step that feels a little uncomfortable, but creates powerful change. Speak before you feel ready. Most learners believe confidence comes first, and speaking comes after. They think, once I feel more confident, then I will speak. But confidence doesn't work like that. There is a hidden paradox here. You don't speak because you lack confidence. And you lack confidence because you don't speak. The longer you wait to feel ready, the scarier speaking becomes. Your brain starts to see speaking English as a big, risky event instead of a normal, everyday action. So we gently reverse the order. We train action before emotion. Instead of waiting to feel confident and then speaking, you speak a little first, and confidence grows because you spoke and survived. This doesn't mean giving long speeches or talking to strangers immediately. We start small and safe. Your goal is to get used to the physical act of producing English sounds, even when your brain says, wait, not yet. For example, say short sentences out loud when you are alone. I am getting ready. This coffee is hot. I need to send a message. These are simple, everyday sentences. But saying them out loud trains your brain to stop treating English like a dangerous performance. And here's something important, do not wait to feel fluent before you speak. Fluency is not a requirement for speaking. Speaking is the training that builds fluency. If you wait until everything is perfect in your head, you will speak very rarely. And rare speaking keeps your brain in fear mode. So we make speaking normal. Casual. Low pressure. You are allowed to make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are a sign that your brain is learning. Every time you try to say something and it comes out a little wrong, your brain receives new information. It adjusts. It improves connections. That small error is actually a growth signal. Think about children learning their first language. They say many things wrong. Grammar is broken. Pronunciation is unclear. But nobody expects perfection. They speak, get feedback, and slowly improve. They don't wait to be correct before they talk. You are allowed to learn English the same way. So give yourself permission to speak imperfectly on purpose. One of the best ways to do this is talking to yourself. It may feel strange at first, but it is powerful and private. Describe what you are doing. Say your thoughts out loud. Practice small conversations in your room. There is no judgment, no pressure, no audience, just training. Another great method is reading out loud. When you read silently, your brain recognizes words. But when you read out loud, your brain practices producing them. Your mouth, tongue, and breath all learn the rhythm of English. You can also try shadowing. Listen to a short piece of audio and repeat it softly at the same time, like an echo. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep going. This trains speed and flow, not perfection. All of these activities send one powerful message to your brain: speaking English is normal. It is safe. I can do this even if it's not perfect. And that's the shift we want. Because fluency does not grow from silent studying alone. You can know many words and still freeze when speaking. Fluency grows through imperfect action, through speaking, stumbling, adjusting, and continuing anyway. So don't wait to feel ready. Start speaking a little now, and let readiness catch up later. Your voice is a muscle system. Your mouth, tongue, lips, and even your breathing patterns all work together when you speak. And just like any other muscles in your body, they become more comfortable and more skilled with practice. This means speaking confidence is not only mental, it is also physical. Many learners spend years reading, listening, and studying silently. Their brains may understand a lot of English, but their speaking muscles are not trained. So when it's time to talk, the brain sends the message, but the mouth feels slow, stiff, or unsure. That hesitation you feel is not always a language problem. Sometimes it's simply that your speaking muscles are not used to moving in English. Imagine someone who studies swimming by watching videos and reading books, but never gets into the water. They understand swimming, but their body doesn't know the movements yet. Speaking works the same way. So now we add a new type of brain training, voice activation. Every day, give your speaking muscles a little workout. Not long, not stressful, just consistent. One of the simplest habits is reading out loud for 5 minutes a day. Choose something easy. A short article, a story, subtitles from a video, anything at your level. The goal is not to understand every word perfectly. The goal is to get your mouth used to forming English sounds smoothly. When you read out loud, your brain connects written words to physical movement. Your tongue learns where to go. Your lips learn new shapes. Your breathing starts to follow the rhythm of English sentences. At first, it might feel slow or awkward. That's normal. Muscles always feel stiff before they get stronger. Another powerful habit is repeating sentences after audio. Play a short sentence and pause. Then repeat it out loud. Try to copy the rhythm, the stress, and the melody of the voice. Don't worry if your pronunciation isn't perfect. You are training flow, not perfection. You can even repeat the same sentence 2 or 3 times. Each time, your mouth becomes a little more familiar with the movement. That familiarity reduces hesitation later in real conversations. This also helps you develop natural rhythm. Every language has its own music, its own pattern of stressed and unstressed words. When you only study grammar, you miss this music. But when you repeat spoken English, your body starts to feel the rhythm automatically. And rhythm is powerful. When your speech has rhythm, it feels smoother. When it feels smoother, your brain feels more confident. When your brain feels confident, it freezes less. All of this physical practice leads to 3 big changes. First, faster recall. When your mouth is used to saying common words and patterns, your brain can access them more quickly. Second, clearer pronunciation. The more you move your mouth in English, the more accurate and relaxed your sounds become. And third, reduced hesitation. Speaking starts to feel like a familiar physical action, not a stressful performance. Over time, your brain stops thinking, "This is hard." It starts thinking, "I've done this before." So remember this gentle truth. The more your mouth moves in English, the less your brain freezes. You don't need hours of practice. Just a few minutes of daily voice use can slowly reprogram how speaking feels in your body. Little by little, English stops feeling stuck in your head, and starts flowing more naturally out of your voice. Before we finish, let's talk about something very quiet, but very powerful. The voice inside your head. Every time you try to speak English, there is often a small inner comment. Sometimes it sounds like this. "My English is bad. I always make mistakes. I'm too slow." You may not say these thoughts out loud, but your brain hears them. And when your brain hears negative messages again and again, it starts to believe them. It becomes more careful, more tense, more afraid to try. So part of building speaking confidence is changing the way you speak to yourself. Not with fake praise. Not with pressure. But with calm, supportive truth. Instead of saying, "My English is bad," try telling yourself, "My English is improving every time I speak." Because that is how learning really works. Improvement does not happen before speaking. It happens because of speaking. Each time you open your mouth, your brain adjusts a little. It connects words faster. It learns new patterns. It becomes slightly more comfortable with the sounds of English. Even if the sentence was not perfect, your brain still grew. So your self-talk should match reality. When you make a mistake, instead of, "I'm so bad at this," try, "Good. My brain is learning." When you feel nervous, instead of, "I can't do this," try, "I'm allowed to speak even if I'm not perfect." This is not just positive thinking. This is brain training. You are teaching your mind that speaking English is safe, normal, and part of growth. You can even practice kind self-talk in English itself. Before a conversation, quietly say to yourself, "I will speak simply. I don't need perfect grammar. I just need to share my idea." These small sentences send a calming signal to your brain. They lower the mistake alarm. They make it easier for words to come out. And remember what truly builds confidence. Not waiting. Not hiding. Not chasing perfect English in your head. Confidence grows when you think in simple English during your day. It grows when you speak a little, every day, even before you feel ready. It grows when you allow mistakes and keep going anyway. You are not trying to become perfect. You are training your brain to feel safe, flexible, and active in English. That is real progress. So if speaking still feels uncomfortable sometimes, that does not mean you are failing. It means you are in the middle of the process, and that is exactly where growth happens. Every sentence you speak is proof that your brain is growing. Fluency is not a single moment when everything suddenly becomes easy. Fluency is a gradual path made of many small, brave attempts. And the fact that you are here, learning, listening, and practicing, means you are already walking that path. Keep going. Your voice in English is becoming stronger every day.